A lot of us really are like a puppet, somebody's controlling us. But in Bruce's case, he was pulling his own strings.
Wow.
And he didn't complain. He was just busy being Bruce.
All the time.
All the time.
Wow. That's crazy.
No, you want to grab that?
Yeah. Ooh. These are goodie box.
So, folks, when we drove up to talk to Greglen here, he showed us this box. Couplings that are on here that really caught my eye, and one that was really cool because how many of us remember this picture, right? I mean, the Dragon Warrior, or there's a bunch of little things. Yeah. And then the more famous one was this one, and of course
the back cover.
Of course, Kato from the Green Hornet. In this magazine, folks, Bruce Lee Mania, there's a segment in here that was an interview done with none other than this gentleman, Greglen Lee. And tell us how this came about.
I was contacted that the publisher of Bruce Lee Mania out of Spain wanted to do an interview.
Well, this is from Spain?
Yep.
And
limited edition in Spanish.
In fact, I think everything in here is in English and in Spanish.
They put the SAP button on it.
Yeah.
So originally I was supposed to do the interview on the phone.
Right.
But something happened where we couldn't hook up. The interviewer was in Japan. So I actually wrote a bunch of stuff and corresponded, and they helped me get off my duff. Sometimes you need a little bit.
Yeah, you need that push.
Yeah, but they did a very, very good job of the pictures and the interviews.
Right.
And I think this is an annual thing that they publish, and it's a very good magazine.
When was this published? When did this come out?
This came out. Good question.
Yep. Turn it open the book.
I think 2014.
No. I think this came out last year.
Just last year, really?
Yeah. It took,
That's amazing.
From the time I finished the interview to the time it came out, was probably 5 to 6 months.
Oh,
wow!
So that's
actually very current then. Now, in this other box of goodies, there's this wonderful book, again, written by. You want to hold that out. This is also the writing on here is actually from you again. Now, what did you write about as far as in your portion of this book? Because I know it's other people helped you write this book, right?
Well, this book is called Remembering the Master.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I contacted a bunch of Bruce's former students and friends and gave them a chance to tell us about what Bruce Lee meant to them, their first impression from their viewpoint.
Right.
Wow.
So I would say 95% of the stuff in here is from these interviewees. And I just recorded it. What I did actually, I wrote Dragon and Tiger 1, Dragon and Tiger 2, and what I did was I went out and interviewed about 50 friends and acquaintances of Bruce on tape. So I have about 40 hours of interviews.
Wow.
And God bless Sid Campbell. He's a Shorin-ryu karate sensei. He helped me write the books, and it's been out for about 20 years.
I love that, the Oakland years.
Yeah, we were just talking about the Oakland years.
How was it?
The time when Bruce developed JKD. Because remember, when Bruce was first teaching in Seattle in the beginning, it was Jun Fang Kung Fu, which was basically Wing Chun. And then they made the change after the Wang Jockman fight at the school in Broadway in Oakland.
Yeah. What do you know about that? Tell us that story.
Yeah.
Because we're hearing some really good stuff. When we talked with Dennis Lee, George's son, he told us a little bit, and we were fascinated by the idea that Bruce Lee wasn't a braggart of sorts, right? He just kept everything quiet. He never, I beat him this and that. He just said, oh yeah, we had a fight and that was it. But he never went into details, which is, to us, is just really, wow, what an eye-opener. What was your take on all this?
Well, it was more of a challenge Wang Jiakmin, with the help of some people from San Francisco, I don't know exactly who they were.
The organization.
They sent
those guys.
Bruce an official challenge letter.
Right. Wow.
Wow. Old school.
And
It was in the scroll.
the challenge was at the school.
Uh-huh.
I think 4 or 5 people came with Wang Jiakmin. I wasn't there because I was too young. James was there. Bruce, obviously. George Lee.
Wow.
And maybe one other person on the Oakland side. And
Wasn't Linda there?
yeah, Linda was there. And you know, they've made movies about it
Yeah.
and
Really
such.
bad ones,
Oh
too.
yeah. Over exaggerated.
But yeah, my understanding was that it lasted about 2 minutes. Bruce was basically chasing Wang Jiakmin, and he might have gotten scratched a little bit. And afterwards, when Bruce finally got Wang Jiakmin to give up, it was no big deal. They didn't fight again. There was really no mention about it. The magazines and the public responded much more to it than they did themselves. There was no betting going on. There was no girl being rescued from a restaurant. Yeah, you know?
Although they make good movies though.
Yeah. But it's okay, you know. I think that really helped Bruce realize that he needed to work on his stamina and footwork, and as they call, bridging the gap.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, running out after somebody can get you tired, I guess.
Just can you just come here, please?
Yeah, if we're gonna fight, let me at least touch you.
But it was something that lasted for maybe 2 minutes. He took a lot away from it. He learned from what he needed to develop further on. And you say that's where then Jeet Kune Do came out.
Well, the aspect of bridging the gap, footwork, and timing. If people stand there and don't move too much, it's it's not too hard to deal with it. With Wing Chun, boom, 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 boom. But if somebody's running from you, chasing people is not easy. And to be able to bridge the gap in timing, it's really quite interesting.
Yeah, we throw sticks at people if they run.
Yeah, it's kind of like boxing. If the opponent gets on the bicycle and is moving away from you, to bridge the corner and to cut the guy off.
This is why you learn how to cut the corners.
Right,
Yeah.
but if you don't have a ring,
Right.
then the guy can keep moving however he wants.
So,
And did you get all this information from your father? Is he the one that told you all this, or how did you come about it?
Kind of putting up pieces together. I remember I spent quite a bit of time with Wally J, Professor Wally J, the master of small circle.
right. Small
And he says, you can't win World War II with World War III. You can't win World War III with World War II weapons.
Right.
And his main crux was a bomb means nothing without a delivery system. So what he's basically saying is if you can't bridge the opponent, all your stuff you learn means nothing.
Because you can't hit him.
And Bruce took that literally.
Oh, wow.
So he became the master of bridging the gap and timing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of.
His step in is...
Yeah, he picked that up
Amazing.
from the fencing lunge.
Yeah.
And there are drills for that. That you
Wow.
have to learn to move in your rear.
Yeah, the inside step.
Most people don't know how to move their rear in.
So
Wait, the rear?
I'm looking at this box and there's this book that's screaming at me to say, hey, talk about me. This was written by your father.
Yeah, Bruce was a technical advisor on this Wing Chun book. I think it was published in '71 by Black Belt.
Right.
Who's
And
getting punched?
That's a student.
This is your father?
Yeah. And
I see some pictures of
God bless Ted Wong, the late Ted Wong. He was one of the Ukis. We would say the
Right.
The moving dummy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know, because I play that part a lot.
There's some really good stuff in here. I mean,
Yeah,
it really
this
goes.
is a breakdown of the forms and
It's just
everything.
a basic application of a basic Wing Chun.
Now, how
I'm gonna need to find that.
how much stuff did your father then get from Bruce Lee? Because it seemed like a lot of his things changed when Bruce Lee said, "Hey, I'll start teaching you guys." But it seems like his whole idea of martial arts may have changed a little bit.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Because he learned from Bruce the basic Wing Chun system.
Right.
Defend the center, attack the center, simplicity, sensitivity, and also conditioning. So once my dad saw the Mark Chung dummies, he made a kicking dummy that you kick.
Huh.
And it helped develop your kick with shock absorbers. And then they got into iron hand training, which my dad knew already. And the dummy work and a little bit of pad work and basic low-level kicks, shin kicks, and what we call the JKD shuffle, and right Baizhong, and the Wing Chun centerline blast, and all the Bong Sao, Pak Sao, Jet Sao. In Chinese, the word Sao means hand.
Yeah. So let me ask you, because I happen to be watching a movie this morning about Ip Man. And in this particular, I think this is the final one, and they had Bruce Lee in there, a character playing Bruce Lee. I'm curious to know how much of Ip Man stuff came out in what Bruce Lee has been showing, or even in the JKD. Did he stay true to a lot of that, or did he evolve it and make it fit him?
He evolved it, but his sensitivity and close range stuff is basic Wing Chun. His mobility, he picked that up from other areas. He really loved, I understand, when he was in Seattle watching The Blind Swordsman.
Oh, so
And,
Tai Chi, yeah.
And how he fought people. If you notice in some of Bruce's movies, especially Chinese Connection, when he's surrounded, you can kind of see that movement.
Yeah.
Turning the ear to the direction.
Learn what you can use today.
Right.
Throw out
That's some
everything else.
amazing stuff. Wow. So, what have you been doing in the martial arts world? Because I know you have students, right? You're an actual instructor as well.
Yeah, I've been training, God bless, for about 45 years, a little longer.
Wow.
And in high school, my dad actually helped me quite a bit by opening a class for me and my buddies.
Oh, cool.
So we probably had about 12 guys, mostly Asian, and for some reason everybody was wearing a derby jacket back then. Dark blue.
Yeah. How funny.
So that helped
So
me
you guys
quite
look like
bit.
a gang.
Not
An
really.
Asian gang and a derby
Not really a gang.
That's what it looked like.
But he opened the class for me, and I got to know all my dad's top students.
Nice.
Howard Williams, Gary Kilgannon, God bless them, they're in heaven now. And actually about a few years after my dad died, I was approached by some of my dad's older students to help me train some more.
Oh, wow.
Felix Macias Sr., God bless him. Dave Cox, God bless them. And I picked up my training and continued.
Do you have a school? Did you open up a school?
Yeah, I had different locations and trained maybe through the years, maybe about 80 or 90 people.
Wow. Nice.
But we were training mainly to practice.
Right.
Practicing a certain form doesn't really help too much. You got to practice against opponent,
Right.
and practice on the pads, and practice footwork, and relaxing under pressure. And to all my old students, hello. Hope you're doing well.
No, but you made an interesting comment, because you said, for your personal growth and training, that's the logical step, is to start teaching. Here, let me bring you up to a certain level, so then we can play off each other and learn together, versus here, I'm the man, you listen to everything that I say. That's a different mentality to approach training altogether.
Yeah, well, Bruce basically said,
Uh-huh.
to learn to swim, you must jump in the water.
Oh.
Dry land swimming is not swimming.
To point out the obvious.
Now, I'm going to pull out this one other thing that I've seen in here, and you showed me this earlier, but I thought this was really cool. Explain to me what this is. I mean, where did it come from, first of all? I mean,
It's like a program in practice.
Well, this is what they call a wall chart.
Yeah, this is some crazy stuff here. Hold it up for a second so I can get it on video. Hold on. Let's straighten it out
Yeah.
here. Let's try not to break it though, Rick.
Yeah, just not.
This is some stuff where, and this is Bruce Lee, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
That's in the pictures. Oh my God, where did this come from? I mean, where do we find this?
This is probably about 8 pages from Bruce's book, Chinese the Chinese Kung Fu, the philosophical art of self-defense. See, my dad first published his own books way before he met Bruce, and then he helped Bruce publish their own book.
Oh wow.
And then the idea was, let's make a wall chart. So he made these wall
And
charts.
they inserted that in the book.
No, the wall
this-
chart was a separate entity,
Right.
and luckily I still have quite a bit of them.
Can I have one? Can I have one? I'm begging now.
They're like the price of gold.
Oh, I can imagine, but that's why. Can I have one?
Yeah, that's why he's asking and not saying, hey, can I
But
buy one?
yeah,
He's shameless.
the books at the time were selling for $5 each.
I was looking at the prices right there. The modern kung fu karate,
Yep.
$5, and it said new prices starting March.
Actually, my dad had a book company called Oriental Book Sales,
Oh,
and he would sell his own books, modern kung fu, and he would sell books on Chinese leg maneuvers, what is karate by Oyama, judo books, kempo books. So he was pretty diverse on that. Back then, believe it or not, sales tax was 4%. And
yeah. The most expensive book was an illustrated one for $14.
right, so he was a pioneer.
Dude, so he was publishing for all these martial artists, just putting their work out there.
No, he wasn't publishing for those other ones.
Oh, he wasn't publishing.
He would get them through them, and kind of like a wholesaler.
He's
Got
like
it, got it.
a distributor.
He was
No, he only published his own books, and for Bruce.
Okay.
Wow.
He
For
just
other people, he
distributed
didn't.
everything.
You're right.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, how he got that idea, I'm not really clear. I never asked him.
It was just normal.
It was
Yeah.
a thing Dad did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
'Cause,
gonna
you know-
teach you in how to sell books.
No, because back in the 60s, there weren't that many books on martial arts.
Oh yeah,
available.
and you can't find that many now.
No, I've looked.
Yeah, there's not a lot of books on martial arts to this day. You know,
Not like that.
which is surprising.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So
'cause
let,
nobody
let
wants
me
to
ask
give
you
it away.
this, Greglan, since you are an instructor, we know you brought one of your students here to make sure that we don't get out of hand.
No, that's okay.
Oh, you can probably take care of it yourself.
Dude, I'm interested
Is
in
there a
that
chance that
iron
we
fist.
can show, we can get you to do a demo for us? Because on our show, we always try to get our guests to do some demos. Would
Yes.
that be possible today?
We could just show a little.
A little
Okay,
bit?
good.
I mean, you know, I hate to say it, but it's really no big deal.
Oh no, to
Oh,
us
no,
it is.
to
though.
us, yeah,
To our
seriously.
viewers, they love
Yeah.
this portion of the show. Folks, when we came in here, he showed us in his garage. There's actually the wooden dummy.
Yeah, which is made from a different wood than the new ones, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a mokjong made out of teak wood.
Teak wood.
Teak wood is high density. It's much more strong or powerful than oak or pine.
I tried punching it. It's no joke, bro.
Some people call it ironwood because it
Right.
feels
Oh,
like iron.
that's okay. So that's the ironwood, teak wood.
Yeah, it won't float.
No, teak wood is known also as a very high class material for Chinese furniture.
Yeah,
Well, you know.
it's kind of like kamagong.
Well, you have to learn how to fight on top of furniture in kung fu. So, according to the movies, of course.
According to the movies,
So they have to be
have
pretty
to be
sturdy.
strong. Otherwise, they would banish you from China.
Right.
You'd never reopen the restaurant.
That's right. So, folks, we're gonna go ahead and do that now. We're gonna reset.